ready.
Okay, we're good.
Mm, mm, mm.
Hey, we're going
I
to
greet
continue
everybody.
with
How
our
are we doing today? Yeah,
yes, and I have
I think we are
Ibukun
live.
on the
Yes.
other line. Can you greet
Mm.
people? Ibukun, your turn.
Yes, I greet you, everybody, and it's such a privilege to be broadcasting from Lagos, Nigeria, and I in I have indeed learned quite a number of things in our last broadcast. We've had a touch of history and, of course, a brief rundown of our reality, our current reality, and that is what the movement radio is all about. Um, you know, changing the narratives. We are so much bamboozled with so much junk that movement radio is indeed a necessity. And I hope we would keep having more of the Nigerian people paying attention to platforms like this. Today will be another interesting episode, and I look forward to it. And of course, it's a privilege and an honor to be part of it. And today's episode will be very interesting. Sit back and relax. It's a continuation of our last episode. And I believe it will be so much, will come power packed with so much juice and insightful talking points. Thank you so very much for hosting us once again, our very own host. And we look forward to having others join us to, speak and talk and speak truth to power and, be factual with our submissions such that it is quite awesome for our audience across all six of our platforms. We are indeed on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch. We are also live on X. So it promises to be a very interesting conversation. And of course, I look forward to having as much participants as possible. And we have sent the links and the invitation to as many groups as possible to all our platforms. So no one have the excuse really of not being a part and parcel of this great show. I pass the mic back to you, sir.
Okay. We as we continue with the show, we want to take a minute of silence to honor a friend of mine who we went to Lagos State University together, who died over the weekend, and to memorize him for who he is. His name is OLodo Uprising Bankole. He passed away this weekend, and he passed away this weekend, and so We want to honor him respectfully. Um, that's him, Omololu Omodunbi Bankole. We attended LASU together. We did microbiology. He has its nickname, E. coli, which is what we call him, from Escherichia coli when we were learning microorganisms. He passed away over the weekend, and we pray that his soul rests in perfect peace. And we started our show by honoring him. That's my colleague and friend, Omolodu Omodunbi Bankole. He has passed on to the greats. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Just a minute of silence in honor of him. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And we're going to continue with today's show. And today's show, we are going to do a quick rundown of the few things we did last week for the benefit of our viewers and those who want to participate in our discussion. Last week we covered why we are here as a movement radio. We're from Nigeria or have an affiliation with Nigeria, and currently, right now, Nigeria is going through a lot of pain and hardship because of bad governance that we believe Nigeria is not being run properly. As a result, the people are going through a lot of economic hardship and physical hardship. The government barely provide pipe-on water, roads, electricity, good schools, hospitals for the people. So you, as expected, you don't expect them to provide good journalistic service to the people. So individuals are taking this upon themselves to launch whatever activity they can in this technology age to ensure that the people uh, get as much as they can of information and not the propaganda and false narratives that's been spread across. So last week we started our show by talking about the reason why we basically came out, and basically we characterize the Nigerian problem to be threefold in our own opinion. Of course, everybody differs on what they consider is the Nigerian problem, and we had an approach to it. For us, we believe that the Nigerian problem is characterized by three major problems, and those key facts is that once we are trying to address, you share them with you on the screen as we discuss this. Just a quick rundown so that people who want to partake or participate with us in the in discussion can do so. Um, so we believe that the Nigerian problem it's made up of just three key facts. One, general silence of the people, enemies within that pretend to be friends, and the ruiners of Nigeria who are your political elite and your big man. Now, Nigeria's currently now as constituted is operating what looks like more like a feudalist system of government where some are more equal than others, animal farm, whereby individuals close to the corridors of power gets away with basically anything. There's a tendency of huge immunity, while those within the lower cadre that are further away from the corridors of power do not tend to share this experience. So therefore, this system of government is kind of putting a lot of people in an oppressive society where equity and the rule of law are basically missing. And in the past, most Nigerians have mischaracterized the struggle, thinking that it's a pro-democracy struggle. But as the day goes by on a daily basis, we observe that the Nigerian state denies you not just your humanity, it denies you your basic rights. It denies you your freedom. It denies you your human right. It is a state that is captured by evil men, where liberation happens to be what the conscious should be struggling for, rather than all the inanimate things that we fight for. Nigeria is an environment that quickly and strongly turns the people weak and dead. It basically push out morally dead individuals, people who are compromised in their profession. They might be journalists, doctors, lawyers, judges, and they cannot be told the rule of law, or be told the ethics of their profession, understanding that basically the ethics of a profession, it was is the gate and the bar that prevents tyranny from existing. So Nigeria essentially operates like a crime scene, and it's a very religious nation, but the religion is dead with righteousness. So we did highlight all these points in our last episode, and so we asked the question, what do we intend to do about it? We have to break the bondage of this so-called democracy in quotes, because it's obvious we do not practice true democracy. What we practice is a permanent coup d'etat by the ruling elite against the masses. And what we practically practice is nothing more than treason and economic sabotage, where a governor can take an entire state's finances, put it in a private account. The president can just spend the money they have. Recently, they can just establish a non-existent ministry, budget 1.3 trillion naira to those budgets. It's a lot of crazy things are happening over there that should not be happening. That is kind of disgusting to humanity. And we on our side said we all cannot fold our hands and do not. I do dirty. So we need to find a way to bring down this abusive system. And most Nigerians have a strong fear of the unknown, and the fear that the government might come in and terrorize them, as they've done to a lot of the activists in the country. Now, in historically, Nigeria has been a country whereby appeasement and pacification of evil has been the political policy that they employ. They've been complicit, and the people themselves have been complicit in this act by being silent and their refusal to act. So therefore, you end up having a government of party put them together, whereby rules and laws are not respected. Now, what are we doing about it? What's the way forward? We believe that essentially it is important that the current dispensation cannot provide relief. The current political dispensation as it's currently set up, we believe that identifying and castigating the enemies within is of essential factor to solving the Nigerian problem. And we're not talking about the ruiners. We know the ruiners, they have big names, they have titles. We're talking the enemies within, those of us who contribute to the decadence without knowing that we contribute to the decadence. We believe that recognizing reasons for perpetual, a lot of our people still believe that the status quo should stand. They want to just be like the big man. They see it as an ambition, and this is where it becomes more dangerous than apartheid. In apartheid, it is black and white. It is black and white, and the blacks know what side they stand on. But here, the oppressed want to be the oppressor, so they don't even and they support the oppressor. So it's more of a difficult battle and a tougher fight. And what has made this status quo to stay the longest has been the mainstream media. Nigerian media from inception, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s, and currently has been nothing but a vuvuzela for the oppressors, for the ruiners of Nigeria. They only have one side of the story. They do not put out the side of the people. They put out the side of the rulers. So in order to solve a problem as difficult as this, people have to learn to, in their mind or physically or however they do it, to stamp out the mainstream media, the Nigerian mainstream media. Basically, they have to create their own media, which is what we are doing here. They have to build media houses, not boreholes, that will serve as an alternative voices to the media poisons that is being delivered across the country to sedate the people. Now, a lot of people in Nigeria are very progressive minded, very, very progressive minded, but the problem is they are also divided within themselves. They have to learn how to join forces how to form a movement without political flags, how to grow and prepare the movement, call out the moderates and the hypocrites within their movement, and label them and call out the failing elites within the community. We have to use words as weapons. We are very good at, masquerading words in Nigeria, where we don't call evil evil, we don't call a thief, we don't call a ruiner. We call them leaders, people that are ruining your country, ruining the future of your children, where everybody's basic objective is to run out of the country as a form of success. Nigerians will continue to call them. Those are not leaders. Those are ruiners. Those are the people that have taken the place of the colonizers. Now, it is essential, we believe, to in this age to use technology to achieve this objective of getting the clowns out of the palace. We covered all this in our last uh, broadcast, and also we want to be the ones who champion the people's voice. We want to use our platform against enslaving our people, enslaving the black man, enslaving Nigerians. We want to reclaim our people's humanity and their human right. We want to provide alternative views, empower people. We want to revolutionize their mind and empower them, and make them to be able to. We want also to aggressively tear down the elite hegemony. These are part of the things we want to do. A lot of people have been very good doing this. We have people like Dele, which we honored, Omoyele Sowore, Mayegun General, Yusufu, and a host of others. And while there are those who are shameless in nature and you can't even shame the shameless, the likes of Abati, Fani Kayode, Reno Mokri, what's that guy's name that says that somebody earning 1,000, 2,000 pounds in England is not living well as somebody earning 60,000. Crazy people, Buwala. These are disgraceful elements who should not be put on in a public medium or be given a microphone. They are the ones basically destroying the country. We plan to start calling these people to order. So what do? We plan to have our show in such a way that it will be very interactive with our listeners. We would have top hits. We don't do news. We only do headlines and bottom line. We're going to have music taste. In fact, we started this show 30 minutes earlier, listening to music on TikTok. So anytime we have a show, you can always join us an hour earlier, where you can hear good Nigerian music or some more other style of music. We only could play copyright allowed music on YouTube, so we can play the regular Nigerian music. So we're going to be covering local and historical events. We're going to have community formats, and then we're going to be a very progressive platform for Africans globally. We're going to connect like-minded people. We would elevate and spark conversation that empowers our community, and will be an educational journey of empowerment and liberation. It will be, instead of the bogus and terrible discussions Nigerians been having on X, on YouTube, regarding their plight. We act as if we are helpless, like we are children, like we can't help ourselves, like our condition is God ordained. There's no solution that humans cannot solve. We just have to lift our own effort. We plan to uplift and empower every voice, protect the least among us, and we struggle to true citizenship. We want to recapture our motherland from selfish purpose and build a movement of hope and love. This was what we basically covered on our first edition, for those of you who missed it. And for each topic we covered, we always have a nagging questions that we raise for people to help us address. For this particular topic that we brought out, we want to ask our people who wants to contribute and talk that who are the enemies within among us? What do you consider an enemy? And each person will have about 3 minutes. Discussions will be held on our Twitter page, X page. It will be broadcast live here on YouTube when we start giving microphones to people. That's our first question. So Ibu, let me note down that question. If you have another additional question to that topic, please let me know. But that's basically what our rundown of what we did. And then we continued with the program last week, where we highlighted Farida's write-up, a young lady named Farida Narebore. I think I must have murdered that name. I'll pronounce it properly when I bring up the article. Anyway, we did analyze Nariba's article of this concept of this phrase we normally say in Nigeria about when Nigeria happens to you. I'm going to give you a quick review of that and see if there's any question that comes out of that. So when we do that little review of our previous shows, then we can basically start and on today's show and continue from there. So, Ibukun, you any comments, contribution while I dig up on no, Farida's article on what makes well on that phrase when Nigeria happens to you. Mike, over to you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much indeed. Well, when Nigeria happens to you, and well, what a very short crash course on the um, scheme of things that took place in our last broadcast. Our last broadcast was indeed very interesting. Um, we look forward to a more robust conversation today, and you pretty much summarized everything. You know, with response to the Nigerian insanity part, where we looked at so many things, and we also discussed about so many things, you know, from our story and why it matters, and recognizing those that stand with the truth. And many notable names were mentioned, right? And we, you know, also took a look at the Nigerian problem, you know, our collective silence and failure to react, state of the nation, Nigeria, our program and format. Our listeners familiarized themselves with us and what we stand for. And we look forward to having feedbacks. We are on X right now, and we are yet to have our people join us. We have shared the links to all the groups that should indeed get this memo, and we are indeed doing that again, so that we'll have people that will join us towards the course of this broadcast, because it's very, very important. And of course, to as many as those that have joined us, about 8 of you who have joined us, we welcome you very specially, and we want to believe that you are enjoying the program as a wholesome content that should indeed permeate our media space, as against the load of nonsense that we get these days. You know, there's so much sponsored attempt to saturate our social media space, to saturate our conventional news space with propaganda, really, not the facts that would, you know, facilitate people's liberation. But well, we are different here. That is what we can indeed tell you for free. The movement radio is different. What we do is not to genuflect. We have no interest. We are not being funded by them. Neither do we have any attachments to them. So our purpose is well spelled out. And that is why we took you through it in our last episode of it, really. And we are going to, you know, have a good time talking about the Nigerian live we did last week. When Nigeria happens to you,
Yeah.
we saw the
I
story
want
of
to
that
quickly
lady.
run that down since
And
we did that last week. We went
yeah,
very much detailed last
please
week.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, please do that.
this very fabulous 36-year-old writer from Togo named Farida
Mm,
Noborema, she wrote this impressive article on the concept that we all share. May Nigeria never happen to you, which is a prayer that we basically say in Nigeria, because Nigeria happens to a lot of people, and it turns out that it's a weapon fashioned against its own people. And we thank God for the for the coming on of those school children from Oyo, but Nigeria for 56 days has happened to them.
mm,
Thank God they're
mm,
home. We don't know the details of how they were released, if ransom was paid, if it was a true military activity, but all that will come out in later years. But Nigeria is a weapon fashioned against people, and Farida argues that the meaning of the word in itself and how we conceive it says a lot about us, about who we are as Nigerians. You know, in that article, she argues that Nigerian common social media expression exhibit the country as a catastrophe for citizens. You know, she essentially said we look at the country as a catastrophe for our citizens. Then she talked about this experiment with dogs performed by Martin Seligman, whereby the dog is repeatedly put in pain and is not unable to escape the pain. And after a while, the dog accepts the captivity as natural order and makes no effort. She argues that this is learned helplessness, that over time, because the country has been so harsh and mean and hostile to Nigeria, Nigerians have learned this habit of being totally helpless. They act like children, like I said, like they can't help themselves. The whole world is making cars that can fly, bicycles that can swim, and Nigeria is still stuck in the Stone Age. As if we're so helpless, our problems are unsolvable. Meanwhile, all our problems are man-made. So she argued that our experience is like the dog experiment performed by Martin Seligman. And therefore, Nigeria, when you say Nigeria has happened to you, it makes the logic, basically, we internalize the logic, we make it impersonal, we make it as if it is inevitable, it just have to happen, it's God ordained. We make it as if there's no author for that misfortune. Somebody is not responsible for it. And yet we claim to have a government. Somebody is not held accountable for whatever happens when you are harassed at the airport, when you have to give bribes on the roadside, when you don't have water, when you don't have electricity, when you don't have good schools. We act as if that experience is inevitable, it's God ordained. Nigeria has happened to you. So therefore, personally, we surrender our belief for change, and therefore, and also not just for change, to hold whatever is responsible for that problem accountable, to hold it accountable. You know, where I live now, a tree falls on my car. I have to find out whose tree is it, on whose territory does that tree belong. Then I can hold whoever owns that tree accountable. If the tree is on the street of the government, I hold the government accountable to pay for the damage done to my car. Or if if the tree belongs to my neighbor, the insurance of my neighbor will be held accountable on my neighbor. This is how life works in normal environment, but not in Nigeria, because Nigerians have surrendered this belief in the possibility of a change, of a better environment, and this belief that yes, they can hold someone accountable for the pain and suffering they are going through. They've surrendered it. So there's no author, no one is responsible. The pain and the suffering is inevitable. So they go into prayers. May Nigeria never happen to you. They mean exempting themselves from the tragedy. Oh, let it happen to my neighbor. They don't say that, but basically, if it doesn't happen to them, God, please don't let it happen to me. Asking to be spared from one's country is indeed a tragedy. Not asking to fix it, but for avoidance. That is the road we have taken. And this is the road we have taken for the past 50 to 60 years. We have taken the road of avoidance. We adjust, we adapt, instead of asking to fix whatever is affecting us. We don't do that as Nigerians. We're not asking for fixes. We go straight into prayer. Yeah, the spiritual realm. You can hear all those fake pastors like the Redeemed Church saying our problems are spiritual. It is prayer. No, they're not. They are human. They are physical. Someone is responsible for this problem, and those persons need to be held accountable. Not asking for fixes, but to avoid. This is what we do when we go into prayers. Because what we do is that we exempt the government from their failures. When we say Nigeria has happened to you, it's inevitable. Let me run out of the country before it happens to me. Let me do this, let me do that before it happens to me. So prayer signifies fundamental state of failure. That's why you don't see people in developed world going to church as much as they do in developing countries, because developing countries see themselves as helpless, unable to act, little children who cannot deal with their own problem, babies, you know. So citizens transfer accountability to God instead of to their fellow man or to themselves. Instead of holding themselves and their fellow man accountable, they transfer accountability to God. Then the state cannot be moved by human action. You know that the state is ordained. Whatever the state does to you is its final. This is a crazy state of mentality. It is indeed terrible. And Farida in her article did a good job in the thorough analysis. By the way, we'll be doing more on Farida's article as we do more of our programs down the line. And then what else? We're just doing a quick rush down of what we covered on our last episode for those who miss it. Now, what is the path to liberation? Like I said, we are in a liberation struggle. We're not in a pro-democracy struggle. A lot of people don't understand that. Now, what is our part? What will interrupt this state of learned helplessness? That's a very valid question. And this is a question we're going to try to answer in our discussion if anybody joins us on our Twitter page for discussion. That's our second question for the day. The first question was, who are the enemies within? This our second question for discussion and purpose is, what will interrupt this learned helplessness? What makes us so helpless that the rest of the world is moving forward and we are still stuck in time? We're stuck in the Stone Age. What makes us so useless, so helpless, as if we are inferior beings? And we are not. We are not, but we have learned a state of helplessness over time, through the colonial construct up till now. So Nigeria has betrayed me. You now have two groups of people, those who argue that Nigeria has betrayed them and those who argue that Nigeria has happened to them. So what do? Do you surrender or you fight for accountability? If Nigeria betrayed you, your logical action should be to fight for accountability. If Nigeria has happened to you, it means you have already surrendered. So these are the two angles from Noberimas Farida's article, which was very interesting. And we believe anytime we find things that would enlighten the mind, educate our soul, we are going to bring it to you here on the Movement Radio. Also, last edition, we covered the Akara situation. And that, I don't know if... what's your name? Ibukun, you're going to join me in singing that Akara song. I don't know. That song just keep coming to my head. Ta ló pè ya lákàrà ṣeré. You know the song?
Ya lákàrà.
Ta ló pè ya lákàrà ṣeré, ìyá lákàrà ó ń ta sánsán sí mi nímú. Ìyá lákàrà ó ń ta dòdò sí mi lẹ́nu. Ìyá lákàrà. So we now have the Olodo of Akara. We had the Akara situation. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Abdullahi. Abdullahi is on the comment page of joining us. Thank you very much. And we have people joining us also from TikTok, and I can't read the screen; it's so small from here. So we did talk about the Akara situation, and we showed the people a video of how to make Akara. We also showed two videos of how Nigeria happened to two Nigerians. One person regarding our rent and another person regarding the police and the court system harassing them and trying to extort money from them. These were the things we covered. Each week we will try to bring you a Nigerian story. And announcement, we will be bringing to you a terrorist survival, possibly tomorrow. Somebody who survived the terrorist kidnapping and their ordeal and their story. They're going to be our special guest. We will let you know when this is going to happen. So we're just doing a quick rundown of our show that we did last week, and now then we did the Akara thing. We showed people how to make Akara, and then because that's what's important for us. But there was an important article written by Taiwo Akinlami regarding the Akara situation. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You are very audible.
very
You are very
audible. So
audible.
I'm going to bring that up. I don't know. Did you note those two questions down in case when we get to discussion? The question from
Yes.
Fariman's article.
The first yes, the first
The
one
first one
is
is
who
who are
are the
the
enemies
enemies
within?
within?
The
Then
second
the
one is
second
what
one,
would
let me
interrupt
quickly
this
check
lend
it.
helplessness.
Eh?
What the second one is what would interrupt this lend helplessness?
Yes, what's going to interrupt
That's
this
the second
land
one.
helplessness? That's our question coming out from that article. Now we're going to look at the Akara situation and look at Taiwo Akinlami's article regarding this government official, although not an official position, going around giving people money, unaccounted money, still no accountability for them to start Akara business, and he calls it tokenism. We were not able to get to that last week, but this is where we're going to start today's show. And so we're going to take a short musical interlude break to get ourselves together and to go on and we start on today's show, which we will take on Taiwo Akinlami's powerful article regarding Talope Yala Kara Shere. I just don't know. I like that song. Okay, let's play some music here. Okay, we are back. Um, so yeah, Ibukun, good. I see the Twitter page is on. Um, you want to take the next article? You want to read it before I break it down, or you have it the Taiwo Akinlami's article on the Akara. We never got to it last week, and that's where we're starting. Or you don't have it. I can read it.
Oh wow.
It looks pretty long, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna just do
please go
this.
ahead. Yes,
Okay, I'm
go
just
ahead.
gonna do the
Yeah,
summarized
please go ahead and
version.
read it.
Yeah, I can see people joining us from the Twitter page. That's good. Um, I'm going to do the easier the version of it, which is the mind map, rather than reading the entire article. Okay, so um, let me first of all share Taiwo Akinlami. Okay. Okay. Um, good. This is an article by my schoolmate Taiwo Akinlami from Agbado to Akara: The Poverty of Tokenism and Why Empowerment Without Architecture is Nothing But Exploitation. And I'll tell you a little bit about Taiwo Akinlami. Uh, before I read this article, Taiwo Akinlami is a husband, father, friend, and attorney, and an investor. He is living to build an egalitarian African and a world fit for our precious children, empowering them to thrive in it with yardstick, to strengthen families through engaging in mature and decent advocacy and community-based projects, promoting social investment with social impact, where social impact is measurable through formidable social protection, and securing a friendly and protective environment for children through African sensitive child safeguarding protection and advocacy, and formidable system codified into implementation policy broken down into practice process for every stakeholder, whether in private or public institution. Basically, Taiwo works with children who are trained periodically. He established standard of parenting and the right-based approach that are child-centered parenting. I want to show you a few pictures of the people we are talking about. First, we look for Taiwo. Hold on. Who he is, and okay, let me share that with you so you can see who we're talking about. So that's Taiwo Akinlami. Let's see if that's showing. So we're going to start today's program by reading his article for us. We have 11 viewers watching us from various mediums. That's good. Yeah, let me comment back for Abdullahi. I see his comment. And then I wanted to show you the picture of Farida. Okay, let me go see. Okay, let's go back to. I'll show you Farida's picture. Hold on. Show you Farida's picture, and then we'll show you that even though the 48 students from Oyo have been brought home, we're still calling on the government to do something about the 52 students that are still being held captive in Borno State. This is essential that these children are released from the hands of these terrorists, and we all have to put our voices together collectively to force our government to do something, because power yields nothing, you know. I'm trying to see if, okay, there's our picture. Okay, click on that and then share. So this is Farida Noresima. She just Farida Bemba Naburema. She's just reading another book. She's from Togo, and she gave us that wonderful article we just digested, When Nigeria Happens to You. Okay, so I showed you Taiwo Akinlami's picture and Farida's picture. Now we're going to go straight to the article by Taiwo Akinlami. These are very intelligent Africans, and when we have people that are very smart and intelligent like this, our country should not be in the state that it is. Also, we would announce that we have invited a group to come talk to us. The group is called the Nigerian Reset Movement. They are a group based abroad, and they are trying to make sure that within the next 25 years, Nigeria becomes a superpower, and it cannot happen if we all don't do something about our current state. So we're moving on now to today's work. Let's go. So I showed you Narima's picture there, and the first person. Okay, yeah. So thank you, Farida, and thank you, Taiwo, for being there for us to give us intelligent things to talk about. unlike what we see most of the time. So, Taiwo writes about how from Agbado to Akara, to the poverty of tokenism. How, let's share that tab so you can see the article. From Agbado to Akara, the poverty of tokenism, why empowerment without architecture is exploitation. Empowerment. We don't, like you said, we don't do news, we don't regurgitate news that most of this other medium does. It's only repeating what the ruiners are doing. So we do things that want to educate and improve. So currently, Nigeria is undergoing multidimensional poverty, at least according to the World Bank and all these international organizations that we run to for help. Let me see, make sure you all can see this article. Yeah. Ibukun, do I need to remove the reading? Make them see the article properly? Should I, or just leave it? It doesn't, it's not distorted.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Please do that. Yes.
Remove the banners. Okay. So they can see the articles properly. Okay. That's good. For those who are using visual, some people are joining us. I think, is there a visual version on X also? I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. So Nigeria does have a multi.
Visual version is, yes, indeed.
Yes, there is. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we got 11 people. How many people we have on X so far? Huh?
We have three.
Keep repeating the when I take a break in talking. Keep repeating our discussional question so people can prepare. Right. Yeah, so like now, before I start on Taiwo's report, can you tell them what two discussional questions we have ready?
So yes,
go ahead.
So yes, we have two discussional questions, and one of it says, "Who are the enemies within?" That is the very first question. All right, who are the enemies within? We have to identify the enemies really, and in your own view, dear listeners at X, who are the enemies within? The second question is indeed, what will interrupt this learned helplessness? We have already identified the concept of learned helplessness in our society. So what would interrupt the learned helplessness? What is it? What is going to stop it? Waiting will stop harm. Talking about it in pidgin English. So please, if you can request for the mic and let's hear your thoughts about the two questions. Back to you, host.
Okay. So back to Taiwo Akinlami's article, why empowerment without architecture is nothing but exploitation. So he started by looking at the Nigerian situation, where it's an agreed fact that we have what is called as multi-dimensional poverty in the country. And these are the figures, these are the facts regarding the country. 63% of the population has multidimensionally defined as poor. That's putting it into concrete numbers. Out of about 200 million, that's about 133 million people are multidimensionally poor. Now, poverty measured across health, education, water, sanitation, housing, cooking fuel. Now, the intensity of the deprivation that the people are undergoing is put at 52%. Now, children between the age of 1 to 17 are mostly affected. So we have about 67.5% of the entire population mostly affected by this multidimensional poverty. Our GDP per capita has fallen 74% in a decade, in the last 10 years. The GDP of Nigeria has fallen 74%, and the nation fell into two recessions. The GDP growth collapsed to near zero. The public debt is going to about 12 trillion to over 97 trillion naira. That's the debt, public debt. That's money that the future generations or generations coming will have to pay. Now, debt servicing unfortunately consumes 75% of revenue. The National Assembly insert untraceable project that are, they call it padding. That's why what they are practicing is nothing but treason and economic sabotage. They call it padding. They just have to steal. So these are the things causing the multidimensional poverty. Now, the gesture by the first lady in Talupe Akara in giving them tokens is nothing but financial benevolence, which to an extent could be good, but to the public, it displays large-scale financial benevolence. Oh, she's good, she's this, she's that. Toward aspiring small business owner, that's the objective for which the money, I don't know the exact amount that was given. I think Ibukun, you would know that. I remember, I can't remember, but I didn't notice. I don't pay attention to those level of details. Now, the nation divides, and the nation basically is divided on this gesture, this benevolence gesture. Some applaud it, while a few others like us are totally condemning it. Okay, so what do we get from this? So the core question is this a policy or is it just mere stage performance? If this is a policy, is this a policy or is this a performance? Tokenism does not develop nation. If it's a policy, that doesn't help the country. Is you giving money out or sending people to Hajj or marrying women for men as they do up north, is that development? No, it doesn't develop nations. Nations are developed by building architecture, visions that are aligned with institution. That's how you can develop a nation, not by doling out money, giving out money to people that are already in poverty. Within a day or two, that money is spent. Now, what does this tell us about what genuine empowerment requires? Three things. Genuine empowerment requires leadership character. It requires leaders that have a good philosophy and the leaders that have a good national plan in place. So when we talk about leadership character, we are talking about people, not public personnel, not just being a heartbeat for the people. We're talking about security and welfare as the primary purpose of every government action. Security and welfare, not just what do they call it? Keeping up appearances. That's what that's called. So, do our leaders doing this? Do they have any philosophical basis for this? No, they're not grounded in social contracts. The governance, not for personal accumulation. That's what we see in our governance. People just go take. Public trust, not a commercial franchise. It's not a business. You don't aspire to be leaders. We've not had leaders. We have ruiners, and you don't have that. So basically, so. What is national development plan? A national development plan will clearly put out clear milestones of what has to be achieved in a measurable manner and with a specific timeline. It has to also be very transparent. That gives a sovereign accountability. We don't have that. You give money out. Where did the money come from? Whose money is it? Is it the public money? Is it the public taxpayers' money? Is it the people's money? Is it money from resources sold? None of these are accounted for. Just an headline and a press that doesn't question. Not sector by sector release of uncompleted project. That is not how you develop a national plan. So the issue is between tokenism and transformation. So responding to systemic crisis with individual gesture, offering a cup. I'm giving the summary version. I would have loved it if Ibukun had read it, but it's not ready. So we just do this for now so that we can move on to some other activities we have. Now, offering a cup of water to a dehydrated man. Nigeria needs the pipe. That's a national vision. That's a mission. That's a developed plan, not just giving a cup of water to somebody who is thirsty. Now, political leadership is not for sale, whereby you have to give money to people so that they can remain loyal to you. Now, accountable institutions are not there. There's no transparent budget. There's no question or answers. Nobody's held accountable to all these things. So there are two sides. There are those that are celebrating this as a good thing and those that condemn it. Now, those who celebrate it, their loyalty without analysis is part of the problem. You know, when people, just because the APC does it, my party does it, or somebody I like does it, and you don't criticize it, that's part of the problem. So you don't ask, where's the plan? Where's the architecture? What is the outcome? Obviously, there's none. Now, for those who are condemning it, just being angry about it doesn't work either. Without a framework of what alternative proposal you have, it's nothing but basically noise. You know. So, what do you propose? What does a development plan look like to get people out of poverty? You know, is it by this selling akara and kuli that will get them out of poverty? It shows your leaders are visionless if that's how they plan to get people out of poverty. If you, the rest of the world are getting out of poverty by being productive industrials, you know, we're thinking of kuli. That's interesting. Now, what's the alternative? Are we demanding the alternative? And then what is the Taiwo's vision on this interesting topic? We need to build an egalitarian Africa, a society. We have to strengthen families, correct? And we have to secure a friendly and protective environment for children. And we have to establish a right-based approach to parenting. So this is our article that responds to the Akara situation. And we want to thank Taiwo for giving us an opportunity to do that. Ibukun, is there a question for us on this one? Is this a policy? I would say, is it a policy or is it just showmanship? That would be the question, you know. What do you say? Is this policy or is it just performance? And I think the answer is very obvious and clear. So I'm going to take a breather now and I'm going to turn the mic back to you. Back to you. We got more people on there joining us. So let me look at that article again and see before we go on to the next one. So I'm gonna play some more music and then we'll be right back. We'll be right with you. Yeah, welcome back to the Movement Radio. We are now moving on with our show. We just concluded Taiwo Akinlami's article on tokenism. Now we're moving on to the next line of our show for the day, which is headlines and bottom lines. We here at the Movement Radio, we don't do news, nor do we read newspapers. We believe they are from the enemies. They are weapons that are basically fashioned against us. So therefore, what do we do then? Um, Hold on. Okay, coming. Okay, so we are going to the next stage, which is part 4 of our show, headlines and bottom line. We're going. That's what we're covering next. Well, I was explaining to you that we do not do news. The reason being that we believe that most of these other media houses or these online activities, all they do is just regurgitate what the oppressors are saying. There's nothing informative, educative for the people. So we're trying to change that around a little bit. So what do we have on our headlines and bottom lines for today? We know Adenuga as and the non-existent ministry, where the bottom line is more of your money is being stolen. With Gajamiamila, Nigerians. We want to talk about 6 Nigerians that were called into the NBA, the NBA, the American Basketball Association. 5 of them are of Igbo, and we also want to talk about a little bit about the opening of the Obama Presidential Library. And then we want to talk about the nomination of terms for several awards at the BET Award. Also, the headline and bottom line we have conjured up for you is to congratulate terms for our nomination for several of the BET Awards. And on matters arising, we have speakers and losers. So we're going to look at the Nigerians that were called into the NBA. That's what we're going to do next. So the 6 players of Nigerian heritage were selected into the 2026 NBA draft at the Barclays Center, making it one of the largest classes of Nigerian descent to join the league. The drafted players and their respective team includes the following: Ebuka Okorie is a Stanford University guard, selected 17th overall by the Oklahoma City Thunder, subsequently traded for Detroit Pistons. Zubi Ejiofor, drafted in the first round. Felix Opara, Tennessee University, selected 46th overall by the Orlando Magic. Ugona Oyenso, University of Virginia, NBA Academy Africa, selected 53rd overall by the Houston Rockets. Then we have Otega Owe, selected in the draft, and Toby Lawal. Let's see if we have some pictures here for you. to show you regarding these Nigerians that were selected into the NBA. Okay, I'm trying to get some pictures here. I think I have that of a G4 Okori. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. Yeah, I have that of Okori here. Let me share. That's Okori. See if I can have the pictures of the other Nigerians. And Zubi G4. And that's Zubi G4. Let's see if you all can see these pictures. Yep. Yes, you can. And you see, and we have Toby Lawal there. That's Toby Lawal. And then we have I can't get the other pictures. Anyway, let's get back to okay. We're gonna play some music for you a little bit and then we get ourselves to go to the next item. So those are the 6 Nigerians that were called into the NBA. And that was nice. Okay, Luna. Shadow of my shoes. Let's try that. continue our program by highlighting another interesting article by Zainab Suleiman. And we are a country with a gate but no fence. And we would bring you this article. But first, let me share Zainab's picture with you so you know who's writing this article. So I make this big. Okay. Share this stuff. Okay, that's Zainab Suleiman who gave us the next thing we want to discuss. We are a country with we are a country with a gate but no fence. That's very symbolic. A country with a gate but no fence. A country with a gate but no fence. I'm going to read this article out loud. It's very good. And then we do the okay, let's close that. Okay, guys, minimize that. Okay. We are a country with a gate but no fence by Zainab Suleiman. And on your screen there is the picture of Zainab Suleiman, and we are going to cover that article next as part of our discussion of program of education and enlightenment. We've got about 20 people watching us. That's good. So let's start with this article. We are a country with a gate but no fence. We are a country with a gate but no fence. This is why the wolves keeps walking in. Nigeria, giant of Africa, 200 million heads beating to the same sun. Oil beneath our soil. Music in our veins. Brains that build startups in Yaba and hospitals in Houston. Hustles that doesn't sleep even when the light goes off. But also a house where the doors are loud. The locks are rusted and the walls were never finished. We painted the front gate and called it security. We posted guards and called it safety. We prayed and called it policy. We prayed and called it policy. Farida also said the same thing. And the wolves noticed. 1. Insecurity is not just guns. It is a symptom. Bandits in Samfara who ride in like weather and live like grief. Kidnappers on the Abuja-Kaduna road who turn a 2-hour journey into a national prayer point. Farmers and herders in Benue whose fight over land has become a fight over who gets to be called human. Unknown gunmen in the east who leave questions with no answers. Terror in the northeast that has lasted long enough to raise a second generation inside IDP camps, IDP internally displaced camps. We give them different names so we can pretend they are different problems. but they drink from the same cup. Poverty that teaches a 17-year-old boy that a rifle pays better than a diploma and pays faster. Justice that arrives late, if at all. A case that moves slower. Hold on, let me see if I'm sharing the article with you all. I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna do that now. Instead of sharing Zainab's face. Let's see. Okay, good. So, poverty that teaches a 17-year-old boy that a rifle pays better than a diploma and pays faster. Justice that arrives late, if at all. A case file that moves slower than a ransom negotiation. A system where connection equals competence and silence equals accountability. Where you can fail publicly and be promoted privately. You cannot kill an ideology with bullets. You can only suppress it for a while. You kill it by making life too valuable to waste. By making school more profitable than kidnapping. By making farming safer than banditry. By making the future feel real enough to protect. Right now, for too many, the future feels like a rumor. 2. The gate is loud, the fence is missing. We are very good at announcements. We have press conferences. We have committees to investigate the committees. We have strategic plans with beautiful PowerPoint and zero follow through. What we don't have is consequence. A kidnapper is arrested today, paraded on the news tomorrow with covered faces and covered name. A year later, the victim are still paying ransom in their mind, still checking the rear view mirror, still flinching at motorcycles. Corruption is not just money stolen from a treasury. It is the police vehicle with no fuel when your sister calls at 2 a.m. It is school with 3 teachers for 200 pupils. It is the hospital with no drugs. So a mother buys paracetamol at 3 times the price from the roadside vendor. When the state fails to provide, people improvise, and improvisation is not governance. Ethics, militias, and vigilantes, self-help community guards with darn guns. And once everyone becomes their own army, the country becomes 200 million countries. Each compound a republic, each tribe a border, each religion a checkpoint. A nation cannot survive as a collection of fortresses. It survives as a neighborhood. 3. The most dangerous insecurity in our minds. The first casualty of war is the truth. The second is outrage. We have normalized grief. 10 people killed now strolls past us like weather. We tap, we sigh, we move on. We save the tears for people we know. We argue tribe before truth, religion before reason, party before people. We clap for the politician who brings project but asks no question about the blood on the road to get there, about the contract that were inflated, about the schools that exist only on paper. Empathy has become seasonal. We fail deeply during viral videos, then return to business. And when we stop being outraged, we become complicit. Not because we pulled the trigger, but because we got used to the sound. And that is how a society dies. Not with a civil war, but with a shrug. 4. What they don't tell you, insecurity has a price tag. It is not just lives, it is livelihood. A farmer can't go to this farm in June. So in December, food prices rise in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano. A student can't go to school in the Northwest. So in 10 years, illiteracy rises. So does recruitment into violence. An investor can't put money into a factory in the East. So jobs disappear. So more boys update from their CV to include tactical experience. A nurse lives for Canada. A doctor lives for the UK. A teacher lives for anywhere with lights. Then we wonder why the gun is the only job with urgent hiring. It is a circle. Fear, poverty, recruitment, more fear. And circles don't break by prayer alone. They break by design, by intention, by boring, unglamorous work that no one claps for. Paying teachers on time, fueling patrol vans, prosecuting cases, fixing road, collecting that data. So what breaks it? Not vibes, not hashtag, not if it's God, it's God. Truth. Name the problem without hiding behind a tribe or party. Call a terrorist, whether he speaks your language or not. Call a corrupt official, even if he brought light to your village. Justice, swift, visible for everyone, big man or small boy. If the law is afraid of one class of people, then we don't have law. We have suggestions. Victims deserve to see the end of a case, not just the beginning on Instagram. Opportunity. Build a country where a young person can eat, learn, and build without knowing someone. Where NYSC is not the only plan. Where skills pay and grants don't require a godfather. When people have something to lose, they protect it. Community. We must see each other as neighbors first before Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Christian, Muslim. The man selling suya at your junction is not your enemy. The woman teaching your child is not your opponent. The only side we should be on is on the side of life. Memory. Never forget that every number on the news was someone's entire world. Someone's mother. Someone's plan to get married next year. Someone who woke up and didn't come home. If we forget, we will repeat. Nigeria is not a failed state. Failed states don't produce burner, don't produce floater wave, don't produce nurses who run entire wards abroad. But we are a gated state with no fence. We announce ourselves to the world, but we don't protect ourselves from within. And until we decide to build the fence with jobs, with justice, with education, and with courage, the gate will keep swinging both ways, letting hope in and letting wolves in. The question is not who will save us. No Messiah is coming with a blueprint. The question is, what are we willing to do differently tomorrow that we refused to do yesterday? Will we pay our taxes and demand receipt? Will we vote and stay to watch it count? Will we teach our children that Nigeria is not a tribe, it is a promise? Will we call out the small corruption in our office so that the big corruption has no ground to stand on? Because a country that buries its children every week and still posts God is good without changing anything is a country testing God. And God, like history, answered those who answer themselves first. Let us build the fence. Dr. Zainab Suleiman Buhari, 5th of July 2026. Thank you, Dr. Zainab. That was a very good one. Let's do the breakdown here on our mind map and see what you're talking about and break it down in pidgin English so our people can understand what is going on. Yeah, so let's break this down. So let me get that out of the way. Nigeria, a gated state with no fence. So Dr. Zainab just broke that to us. The problem, insecurity as a symptom, the danger, mental insecurity, the price tag of insecurity, and the solution building the fence, and the path forward. So let's start with the problem, insecurity as a symptom. Manifestation of insecurity, as we've seen over the country. We've seen bandits in Safara, kidnappers in Abuja, Kaduna Road, farmers, herders conflict in Benue, unknown gunmen in the east, terror in the north, IDP camps all over the country. The root causes is basically poverty is driving the recruitment for these terrorists. Delayed or absence of justice within the country. The big systemic corruption and cronyism, ideology not killed by bullets, you know. The systemic corruption and cronyism, these are the root causes of this insecurity. So the analogy of the missing fence, it's over reliance on announcements and plans. They never follow through. They always launching the roads, but they never finish the road. They're always launching the railway. They never finish nothing. They're always launching. There's a government that is not accountable. Now, lack of consequences for their actions. Nobody hold them to account. Corruption permeating the daily life. Everybody does it. Everybody keeps quiet about it. But it's so easy to point fingers at the people in power, but as if they themselves don't do it in their little offices. State failure leading to improvisation. People are improvising just to survive. Militias, vigilantes, and all the rest. Then fragmentation into 200 million countries is what's eventually going to happen if this thing is not arrested. We have normalized grief in that country. Every time people killed becomes background noise. Empathy is seasonal and it's very, 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 very selective. It's very selective. Some people have it, don't have it. Now, the vision over unity. Now, we have to choose unity because our tribe, our religion, our party we prioritize those things over the truth. An APC fanatic would always defend what the government is doing, no matter how wrong it is. They would find a way. If they can't defend it, they would try to shout you down. You know, a PDP chieftain would always, people just as if the party is, I just don't know. They prioritize party, tribe, and religion over truth. And we are very complacent and we accept the status quo. We see that with our journalists, our educated people. We see that in our discussion on Twitter, on X, on YouTube. We're very complacent. At the moment something bad happens or something happens that shouldn't happen, we just wave it aside and blame it on God's will. Societal death. Society is going to die eventually if we continue this way. We're not going to die by war. There won't be war. Well, not civil war, but by a collective shrug. If we keep doing this, heading the wrong way. The country is going to die and everybody will eat breakfast, like they say in Pidgin. The impact of these activities are huge. A lot of livelihood are disrupted, farming business, rising food prices, job losses, increased recruitment into terrorism. We see that on a regular basis, and human capital flight. You've seen all our skilled professionals leaving the country. Everybody's leaving either to go to England, to go to America, to go to Canada, go to Israel. They're getting out. A country where its people, if you take 9 out of 10 of its people wants to leave, that's not a country. People want to get out. They want to escape the hell. While you are doing all that, the people with the guns are hiring. And that's how you're having a lot of insecurity because the gun pays faster than a diploma. So what is this circle of fear we're going through? She talks about we have fear from poverty, leads to recruitment, leads to more fear. The circle can be broken by design, not prayers. We're very quick at calling God, we're very, very quick at calling God on everything. God is this, God is, we just got to do better. Truth and naming. We need to start calling our problems. We need to start calling our perpetrators by their name. If your governor is a thief, call him a thief. If your president is a drug dealer, call him a drug dealer. All this sugarcoating and avoiding the truth. If someone is stealing your money, call them what they are. Stop using big grammar English. Avoid hiding behind tribe and party. This is what we do as Nigerians, and that's why the country is not moving forward. It don't matter what solution you propose. If people keep doing this, there will never be a change. Never. You call the problems by their name. Stop calling it democracy. What you have is economic sabotage and treason. It's not democracy. where somebody puts 1.3 million naira into a budget of a ministry that doesn't exist. That is treason. That's a firing squad offense. And yet the Senate will not even open an investigation on it. God, Jesus. What a country. Now, we look at justice. Justice is dead in that country. It's not. If you're not rich, if some rich people can't even get justice. If you're not rich, if you're poor, if you're a common man, you might as well just forget the word justice because you're not going to get it. You know, it's not swift, it's not visible, it's not equitable. It is very selective, and victims, they deserve closure. People who are killed, who are beheaded, who died in the hands of terrorists, they deserve closures. People who Nigeria has happened to deserve closures. Thank you very much, Dr. Zainab, for this interesting article. Now, opportunity for us is to create a viable future for the children, for the young ones. And this is part of what we are doing, try to educate the minds. Let Nigerians know, instead of all those cheap-rich conversations they're always having that makes no sense. People who have this multitude of problems should be discussing policy issue, not discussing candidates, not discussing Atiku, Obi, Tinubu. They should be discussing policies. How do we stop this? What policies do you have in place to stop this? Not discussing personalities. We are just, oh God, we are just behind. This is so bad. Really so bad. Now the community needs to start prioritizing neighborliness over religion and tribe. You know, everything is about tribe in that country. And if we're going to keep it about religion and tribe, maybe we start discussing the need for us to separate. If you want to be all about tribe, be about tribe. If you want to be about your religion, be about it. But don't be it within my own territory. Recognizing shared humanity. We don't even share humanity. We believe we are better than the others. I better past my neighbor mentality. Now, remembering victims to prevent repetitions. How many of the victims that have been damaged are honored or compensated? None. You know, people just die, we move on. By tomorrow, a bigger headline comes on that is worse than the one we witnessed yesterday. It's as if we have no memory cells. So our discussion should go beyond hashtags and vibes and rhetorics and loud noises on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, and all these other things. So we have to put in concrete actions in place. What are these actions? We have to ensure, we have to yell and scream and demand that they pay teachers on time, patrol vans have fuel, we prosecute cases. Justice is centered to a society. We fix roads instead of the roads killing people, and we collect data on what is working and what's not working. Nobody's coming to fix these things for us. There is no savior. Nobody's coming from abroad. Trump is not coming. Stop fooling yourself. You're not a child. You're not a baby. You're a full-grown 65-year-old country. You should be able to fix your own problem internally. You just got to fix the enemies within yourself, not with an external help. You know, you have to start taking responsibility, personal responsibility for your action. Pay taxes, demand receipts. Why do you demand receipt? You demand receipt by calling your leaders to account. They take your money, you call them a thief. You bring them out, you stone them the way you stone a thief. You put tires on their neck. When they begin to fear you, they start to respect you. But when they don't fear you, when they bully you and you let them, they continue to do that. So voting and observing, your vote must count. That's the first line of revolution. If your votes don't count, the guns will count on you later on. If you don't make sure your votes count, not somebody in INEC just announcing a number that you know that's not the number that you have. And then you have to start calling out small corruption. What are small corruption? A journalist that's not asking tough questions of the politician. A journalist that is just echoing politicians' voices. Those are small corruption. It's not small corruption that adds up to the big one. So as a country, we have to call ourselves to action. We have to start building the fence. And when we talk about a fence, we're not talking about a physical fence. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about justice. We're talking about education. We're talking about infrastructures. We're talking about roads, water, things that basic human beings, shelter, need. Not be in 2026, be living in the stone in an age long forgotten. And we have to decide to do these things differently today, if need be, or tomorrow. We have to look at the things we didn't do yesterday that we want to do today. So that's the second article. Before I go to music, let me see if Ibukun is there to comment. No, he's not there yet. Okay, I'm gonna go briefly for music and then we'll be back. Thank you. Let me see what's the music sound. I love you deep, but I love myself more.
Every man talk a big game till they get a taste of the real one. I don't tell them look and wash their clothes, kiss their lips, wipe their nose. You taste the sugar, you lose your teeth. Ain't no man alive can handle me. They say I'm too much woman for one small bed, too much thinking in this big old head, too much people that pride to see. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Yeah. I want a snack, not a meal, baby. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I'm fire dressed in melody. I shine too bright, I cut too deep. They talk that love, but they don't keep. I ain't no dog with some food of own. I work this land till they turn my own. I gave my heart to my knees when weak. They love my laugh, but not my grief. Now, baby, they want the meal, not the one that could. They like it thin, they like it sweet, but I serve heat beneath the sheets. You taste the sugar, you'll fall to your knee. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I shake the walls, I break the beat. They start to pray when I turn up the heat. Ain't no man alive can handle me.
To the Movement Radio. Yeah, as we continue with our program, we're going to bring you the next item on our list. We want to do a little historical brief about Nigeria, something old and quite nice. Yes, we let me hold on. Make there share. Yeah, I want to bring you something historical. Let's see what we got about Fela Kuti and Dr. Tunji Braithwaite. Let me see if I can get the picture of that to bring you. We'll come back to small talk. It will be right there. Okay. And then we're gonna share you some Nigerians doing interesting things also. We're gonna share those with you. But first, let us bring you this historical perspective regarding Dr. Tunji Braithwaite and Fela Kuti. Okay, that's it. Okay. Yeah, that's a picture of that's the photograph of Dr. Tunji Braithwaite and Fela Anikulapo Kuti after the Calcutta Republic raid in 1977. Dr. Tunji Braithwaite and Fela Anikulapo Kuti after the Calcutta Republic raid, February 1977. These photographs capture Dr. Tunji Braithwaite with Fela Anikulapo Kuti in February of 1977, shortly after the infamous military raid on the Calcutta Republic in Lagos, one of the most controversial incidents of the Nigerian military era. On 18 February 1977, hundreds of soldiers stormed the Calcutta Republic. Fela self-declared commune and recording studio. The attack followed the release of his critically acclaimed album, Zombie, which openly ridiculed the Nigerian military. During the raid, the compound was destroyed, many occupants were beaten, and their properties were set ablaze. Fela sustained serious injuries, while his mother, Chief Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, was reportedly thrown from an upstairs window. She never fully recovered from her injuries and died the following year. In the aftermath of the assault, Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti, Fela's younger brother and respected medical doctor, requested Dr. Tunji Braithwaite to represent the Ransom Kuti family. Braithwaite was tasked with seeking the release of Fela Anikulapo Kuti and Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti, who had been detained following the military operation. He also initiated legal proceedings challenging the actions of the military government and seeking accountability for the destruction of the Calcutta Republic and the violence inflicted on its residents. Although the prospects of obtaining justice through the courts under military rule were extremely limited, the legal action represented a courageous act of resistance. It demonstrated the family determination to challenge state repression through lawful means and refuse silence in the face of injustice. Dr. Tunji Braithwaite, a lawyer, politician and human rights advocate, would later become one of Nigeria's most outspoken critics of military rule and a lifelong defender of civil liberties. The events surrounding the destruction of Kalakuta Republic remain one of the defining moments in Nigerian political and cultural history, symbolizing both the excesses of military dictatorship and the resilience of those who resisted authoritarian rule. The current government we have is not different from a military government. Their actions and behavior. Thank you for that. Let's go back to okay. Now we're going to share with you some cultural events regarding what Nigerians are doing, and we have a few videos to share with you, and we are, let me see, it's let me check if Bidun is there. I've not seen him yet. Okay. Yeah, we're going to share with you some videos of Nigerians doing great things and culturally, so you can share part of our culture with us as we go through this hardship and trying to educate and enlighten our people's mind. Before we go into another article, we got several articles we want to talk on and the questions we want to raise. Well, after we show you Nigerian cultural event, we'll talk about when power forgets its mortality, a warning from Bucharest to Abuja. That will be our next article. But before we do that, we're going to cover this. First, a few words of wisdom. Let's share that. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. In a country well governed, poverty is something to be ashamed of. In a country badly governed, wealth is something to be ashamed of. Okay. We are still going to show you some Nigerian events and pictures before we go to the next article. Also, this just to share this with you before we go to the Nigerian event. As we rejoice over the release of the Oyo children, we await the release of the Borno children also. 52 of them are still in captivity. Rescue or ransom, we thank God. Kidnappers paraded or not, we thank God. Rehabilitation and psychology support or not, we thank God. We pray and we demand action. We'll pray and demand action. I'll take that prayer part out of it. We should just demand action. They should never have been taken in the first place. As the state faithfully discharges traditional and primary responsibility for the welfare and security of the people, this ordeal might not have occurred. Yet, for their freedom, we are here thanking God. The suspected kidnappers have not been paraded, and the rescue operation has not been filmed and shared, as happened in the cases of Adeboye's sister. We'll talk more about that later. Let's go back to sharing some positive things about the country. The things we do that makes us happy. Okay. Yes. And here are the pictures for you of the children that were rescued pictures, the children that were rescued from kidnappers after 52 days. More pictures. More pictures. That's good. Yep. Building the fence. Yeah, we're gonna get to the fun part now. Just a few things we gotta show you. And another article, Nigerian elitism. Okay, let's start with this. Where's the sound? Yes, more. We want to show you more Nigerian stars and that people making us proud out there. There's another one. Okay, we got more for you. Just hold on and be entertained. here we're bringing you Organ Kid Bassi, Nigerian first world boxing champion. We have his picture right there. Let's make sure it's showing. Okay, Organ Kid Bassi, Nigerian first world boxing champion Organ Kid Bassi with his family at the London airport in August of 1958. Pictured alongside the celebrated boxer are his wife Maria Bassi and their two children, Organ Jr. and Richard. Born Okun Bassi Asukwo on 3rd June of 1932 in Calabar, Organ Bassi became a pioneer in Nigerian and African boxing history. Nicknamed Kid Bassi, he rose through the ranks during the 50s while fighting primarily in the United Kingdom. On 24th June 1957, Bassi made history by defeating Sheriff Amir in Paris to win the World Featherweight Championship under the New York State Athletic Commission. The victory made him the first Nigerian to become a world boxing champion, and a landmark achievement that inspired generations of Nigerian athletes. Bassi successfully defended his title before losing it in 1959 to Davy Moore. Despite the defeat, his accomplishment had already secured his place among Africa's greatest sporting pioneers. In recognition of his achievement and his contribution to sport, Bassi was appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire in 1959. Becoming one of the earliest Nigerian athletes to receive the honor. After retiring from professional boxing, Organ Bassi remained active in sports development. He later served as a boxing coach and administrator, helping to nurture young talent and contribute to the growth of sport in Nigeria. Organ Kid Bassi passed away on 26 June 1998, but his legacy endures as one of the foundational figures in Nigerian sporting history. His success on the world stage opened doors for future generations of Nigerian boxers, established Nigeria as a respected force in international boxing. Source: International Boxing Hall of Fame, Boxing Record Archive, Contemporary British Newspaper, 1957 to 59. Yeah, we're going to give you some more music and then we'll be back to give you another article, one from Dr. Zainab Suleiman and another one from Amari Cho. So we'll be right back with more music. Thank you. This is the Movement Radio. Thank you for joining us. Right now we have close to 21 people watching us live, and we thank you for joining us. Thank you. No music. Control. Delete. What is happening?
You made a church of silence, then asked me why I prayed. Oh, you come on my real voice. Under the shade of truth. Came back sharp and blue under the last moon. I know to lose waking up in me. in a sorry folded in the pocket of a coat. It had no weight, no, just a pretty little note. You had my hand with the same careful touch. I mistook being chosen for being enough under the star moon. I can see the shape of truth. All the light for you came back sharp and blue under that glass star moon. Yeah. Even time got tired of waiting for you. I took the chair you never used and placed it by the wall. Sometimes love doesn't leave the room. It simply gets too small. I was the keep, I was the kept, I was the answer you never checked. I was the table, I was the room, I was the girl in the glass jar moon. Now I'm the river, now I'm the stone, now I'm the house I can call my own. Now you never know that glass jar moon. I can see the shape of truth. You came back and blue. Standing up in me. Without asking why. There's a good man standing in my door, calling out love. I can't believe just let him in, but my heart learned early. Things always leave, so I hold my breath and I count to 10. These old walls right back up again, 'cause there's fear in the air. Can't breathe, I can't bear it. You're tender and true, and Lord, the sweeter you love me, the more there's fear in the air.
Yes, welcome back to the Movement Radio. We are now going to share an article by Dr. Zainab Suleiman, Loot in Plain Sight. And we're going to start by reading the article to you. Let's see. Share this with you. Loot in Plain Sight, How Scam Project Broke Trust in Nigeria by Dr. Zainab Suleiman. She exposes the systemic corruption and scam projects that have eroded trust in Nigeria, particularly between 2015 to 2023 administration, despite its anti-corruption campaign. There's the summarized version, but we're going to see if we're going to read the entire article. The worst part of it is that the money was not stolen. Yeah, let's start on that, and then we'll talk about our next article. Oh, Ibukun, you're back. Any updates before I start? Oh, you're gone again? Hello? Okay, I'll start. Yeah. Any updates from you before I start on the next article? Ibukun?
Well, we might have to get things rolling. I would indeed catch up with you in like 5 minutes. I'm still trying to figure out things there.
5 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be enough.
Yeah, I'll
have
catch
the
up
time
with you
to
very soon. Yeah.
finish this article that I'm about to read. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so Loot in Plain Sight by Dr. Zainab Suleiman. Wants 2 or 3 shorter version in caps for social media. The worst part is that the money was not stolen. The worst part is that you see loyalists defending it. Must you support every lie just to stay relevant? Nigerians have had that line for 8 years, between 2015 and 2023. The administration came in, one promise, will fight corruption. The slogan was on billboard, in speeches, in campaign jingles, but somewhere between the promise and the budget, the project turned into the problem. This is not about hating a government. This is about grieving a country that keeps paying for the same scam in new packaging. And if we don't name the pattern, we'll vote for it again in a different Agbada. 1. The white elephant pattern. The project that exists only on paper. Every administration has them, but the scale was industrial this time. Examples, Nigerians still talk about the national carrier, the Nigerian here, announced with fanfare in 2018. A logo was unveiled in London. Years and billions later, the plane never left the ground. The launch in 2023 was later revealed to be a chartered Ethiopian airline plane with Nigerian colors painted on it. Billions budgeted, zero accountability. School feeding program, 100 billion naira spent yearly. In a country where teachers still buy chalk from their salary, audit showed ghost pupils, inflated numbers, and contractors paid for food never cooked. And yet, the press release kept calling it a success. Rail and road project with endless environment. Money was budgeted, rebudgeted, and moved. Project started in 2016, were still ongoing in 2023 with new completion date. The scam isn't that nothing was built, it's that what was built cost 3 times what it should have. The pattern: announce big, budget bigger, deliver small, audit never. The pattern: announce big, budget bigger, deliver small, audit never. The emergency intervention pattern crisis has covered. Every time there's a national emergency, the emergency became the business. COVID-19 palliative 2020. Billions were released for relief. Warehouse filled with rice and noodles were later looted by citizens during NSAS protest. If the palliatives had reached people, Why were the warehouse still full 6 months later? Earn power, trade money, market money, social investment programs designed to help the poor. Good idea. Terrible execution. Beneficiary lists were padded. State coordinators became millionaires. The CBN and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs could not reconcile the numbers, even when asked by the National Assembly. The pattern: use poverty as a PR campaign and use the budget as a slush fund. The security vote and the oversight proof pattern. This is the quietest and most expensive scam. Billions were budgeted under a security and special intervention with no line item breakdown. The NSA office, the Ministry of Defense, the various MDAs spent money that could not be tracked. In 2021, the Auditor General report flagged over 3 trillion in naira in unretired fund across MDAs. That means money was taken out, nobody could show what it was used for. No arrest, no recovery, just a new budget the next year. When journalists or National Assembly asked questions, the answer was always national security. The pattern: if you can't explain it, classify it. The loyalist defense force pattern. This is why nothing changes. Anytime a scandal broke, the response was not denial with evidence, it was attack. They are trying to bring down the government. It's fake news from the opposition. You are unpatriotic for asking. So civil servants learn to keep quiet, whistleblowers learn to relocate, and citizens learn what that asking question made you the enemy. Corruption thrives where criticism is framed as treason. Why this hits different under anti-corruption? The pain of 2015 to 2023 is not just the amount lost. Nigeria has always had leakages. The pain is the betrayal of the brand. When a government campaigns on integrity, every scandal feels personal. It tells the young graduate that hard work is for mumu people. It tells the contractor that the only way to win a job is to know someone. It tells the market woman that her tax is for sharing, not for service. The IMF, World Bank, and even our debt management office warned debt was rising, revenue was falling, and we were borrowing to pay salaries and service old debt. Yet we still had money for projects that existed only on PowerPoint. What other pattern must we kill if Nigeria must change? This is bigger than one administration. These 4 patterns repeat every 4 years. 1. Announcement economy. We budget for press conference, not completion. A project must have 3 commissioning ceremony before it works once. The consultant class. Billions go to consultancy fee and capacity building for foreigners while Nigerian experts sit at home. 3. The revolving door of MDAs. The same agencies indicted in one report are given bigger budget and the next year with new leadership but same staff. No consequence culture. EFCC arrest but prosecution is slow. Panel submits report but the white paper gather dust until the thief goes to jail and keeps the jail time. Theft will remain a business plan. If the next government is serious, here is what reflective change looks like, not slogans. Publish or perish. Every project above 1 million billion must be a public dashboard location. Contractors, budget, timeline, photos, updated monthly. If citizens can track Bolt's driver, we can track public money. 2. Jail time, not panels. Set up a specific anti-corruption court with 6 months timeline. No more than 10 years cases. If you steal public money, you lose the money 10 years. No plea bargains that returns 10%. Kill the security vote secrecy. Security is important. Blank checks are not. There must be classified oversight by the partisan National Assembly Committee with clearance, not trust us. Citizens audit. Give a community group and CSOs legal power to audit local projects. If 100 youths in a local government can count the bags of fertilizer that arrived, the commissioner would think twice. Reward the whistleblowers for real 5% of recovered fund, paid within 90 days and protection, not promises. To the loyalists and to us, I know someone will read this and say, but what about other party? Yeah, dumbass idiots will always say that. That's the trap. Nigeria is not a football match. You don't defend a scam because your person is in power. That's how we got here. The day we decide that stealing is wrong, even when our brothers does it, that is the day Nigeria will start healing. 950 words cannot capture 8 years of anger, but it can start a conversation. Government will only change when citizens stop clapping for mediocrity and start demanding receipts. When we vote with data, not tribe. When we shame looters more than we celebrate them on Instagram. The money is gone. The time is not. Nigeria does not need another savior. It needs citizens who are tired of being scammed. Dr. Zainab Suleiman Buhari. Thank you, Dr. Zainab, for that interesting write-up. We have a summarized version of it here. The betrayal of the anti-fraud brand, proposed social media version, loot in plain sight. Let's see what the mind map gives us on this. Let's see if we could do a pidgin English version of it. Summarize. Yes. Scam projects in Nigeria broke trust. The white elephant
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It good me we talk on for pidgin English. Very, very good.
Yeah. I was thinking the pidgin English version.
If you help me enlarge them well for your screen for that place, so that I go
okay, I
them.
will do that one. Hold on, no. Let me see if you can. Can you see it? I don't even know what it is.
Yes, I will see them like that. But centralize it to the middle of the screen. You can just shift it to make it centralized.
Okay.
Aha, so zoom in like that. Aha, zoom in like that. Yes, okay.
Okay. So let's do the pidgin English version.
Aha.
So the story starts from here. Scam project in broken trust. Yeah, by
Scam
Dr.
project,
Zainab
broken trust.
Suleiman. Thank you, Dr. Zainab. So I think the first one is the white elephant. So go ahead. You want to cover it in pidgin?
Yes, I go try cover them for pidgin in English.
Okay.
The white elephant pattern. This na the drawing of waiting they happen for our Obodo, Nigeria, and many people they talk. I'm saying our government, and even in African continent generally, and you can see the pattern. The white elephant pattern. Many people they talk. Waiting be white elephant. Waiting be white elephant. Che, I don't see white elephant before. That gives you a hint of what the meaning of white elephant pattern means, because when you aim for a big project we no exist, we be saying just now you something to just calm the people, and you have the national carrier Nigerian hair, which is in our modern.
They give us 3 examples. One was the national
give us example, national,
the school feeding program, and then the railroad project. Be like saying that those ones are the example where they give us.
Yes.
Continue. I could just interject, they join you, they talk.
It's good like that. There are many white elephant projects we did for this country, and part of it is this Nigerian hair. I don't know whether now remember the Buhari regime, where we say the minister for air, the minister for aviation, they face charges till today because of the role we in play for the mago of this Nigerian hair. They budgeted for it. It was a very big budget, but at the end of the day, they go rent aircraft for Ethiopia, come paint them Nigerian hair. At the end of the day, after they don't use them snap picture finish, they return them back to Ethiopia. So this is an example of white elephant project where would they talk. Project where we say the whole idea is not to make it work. It is just to scam, to tip our money. That is the whole idea of the whole project. All right. They announced
government official, they go government, go they scam to steal people money, come up with 419 projects.
Yahoo government. All right. So we have the school
up to today. Even the current government.
Yes, now they say they do
Continue,
am
Joe.
till tomorrow. And many people, I will not even go to the coastal road where they do now. We be say coastal road. We be say they never even complete them. It don't they fall apart. They don't they patch them already. They never even complete the thing. Or so we have the school feeding program, 100 billion naira spent yearly. Ghost pupils. That is pupils. We know people is supposed to benefit from the thing. They don't benefit. All of the small children, where they budget this 100 billion naira for every year, they no
Those people
benefit
mean say
them.
students we no exist, they put them for paper, say they
Students, we know,
exist.
yes, they just a budget for them, say they collect them, and people, there's no evidence. Say small children, where they say they won't use this money for, they benefit from that particular initiative. It is all just mago, and there's no evidence.
No, they pay contractor food, they no for food where they no supply, and then go to the railway road again. The same thing.
Imagine.
Endless environment and
Endless
delay. Project
environment
started
and
in
delay.
2016. It's still ongoing.
I'm still
Oh boy,
hungry.
this
After
is
they
what
don't even they
Professor
don't release
Alima's
money.
role called. Look, this is what Professor Alima's role called. The black man still think, the Africans still think that the white man has killed the big elephant. So everybody should bring their knife to it to cut the meat out so they can share. They don't know that nation building is a serious business. It's not. Your
Yes.
governance is not where you come to make money. Cut national cake. Our mentality has not changed, and until those things change, and then they will come up with intervention. When they go have white elephant project, then go have intervention pattern for during emergencies like they do for the palliative. Come on, continue. We go to share am back and forth. Continue.
E good. That it go sweet now. No, the emergency intervention pattern, COVID-19 palliative. Well, now remember COVID-19, and they say something happened where be say now globally, now that virus we pack everybody for house where they say they declare lockdown. I don't remember that thing. Now that COVID-19, they use thief money, if you no. Now part of the scam pattern where they use with that, emergency intervention, because they go capitalize on waiting they happen. They go use thief money. Number one, billions released for relief. Yes, they budget billions upon billions, big money to relieve people. That is to pay people and to provide services where go reduce the impact of that particular disaster, because that COVID-19 was a disaster. Many people lost their life for that, lockdown we happened that year. But you have well houses, fields, later looted. That is the money they use and buy some palliative, put them for warehouse. But at the end of the day, people no benefit from that thing. So people can't they break warehouse because they just carry something put for the warehouse. The whole idea is not to give it out to people. And most of the money was even embezzled. All right. So palliative disease, yes.
Nobody is punished up to today.
There is no consequence. Consequence no day for Nigeria.
No, but
bad people just they go away.
Votes. Now that one with the hear the most. Security vote pattern.
Now that one, now they take thief money every month. We governor go say they go need one kind money for security, and at the end of the day, people no go dey secure. If you look at Oyo State now, based on our Obonge investigation we will do for that Oyo State, the one where they take kidnap people, where they don't release the people where they pack for their domot today. Maybe the years the news to say they don't release the people today. That governor don't collect 80 billion naira in security votes in the last 7 years where he don't dey for office. Now the question be say, what did he use that money do?
Yeah, it's a blank check.
We be saying
blank check.
Just they collect the money they put for pocket. Is a they call them slush fund.
Breakdown.
But billions budgeted with that is a slush fund. they give out the money. There's no accountability for it. Then they
Yet
they don't they give
there's
public
no
feedback.
security in the state.
Maybe say people come the day vulnerable. Maybe say kidnappers they enter inside the states. Come the Pake people go inside bush for 2 months. Those people dey for inside bush. Just because of say security no dey, and they don't budget money for that security, but some people don't carry the money put for the mouth. Only them now ain't get the money. So we have the loyalist defense force pattern. Loyalist defense pattern. What do we mean by that? Why nothing changes? Scandals met with attacks, not denial. You see,
No,
many
those the one where
you say we know.
That's where their
Okay.
loyalists go come on here, come attack you. Like as they talk now, you go see some people for comment section. They don't steal money. They
Comments.
don't.
Waiting they talk. Waiting they
Wetin
talk.
they
We
talk?
know. Yeah, it's not be true. They talk. They go to defend
Yeah,
the government.
show me evidence. Show me
They go to
evidence.
defend. Even when we
They
give
have
them
so many
evidence, they don't go
vocabulary.
believe.
Na fake news, na AI.
Say na
And
fake
these are
news.
people who want build country. It should be criticism is framed as a prison. You're demarketing the country. You don't hear it from
Yes.
the Ecuadorians. They don't
Yes,
tell
they
you
go
are
say they
demarketing
demarket the country. If they chase investors away from the country, if they criticize your country like that, they go tell say they chase investors away.
Them way they steal money, no chase investor. Now you way they criticize them, they chase investor.
That's what we see Obodo, Nigeria.
That's like Nigeria for you. Thank you, Dr. Seina, for this. And continue, Jare. Why this hits different? Because this is a party that campaign on anti-corruption, but they are even worse than the PDP in terms of corruption.
Na so. They
You know.
their own even day worse. It be like say they go learn work from PDP. Then them can't graduate from PDP. Can't they do them on a large scale?
On an
After
industrial scale. This is looting on an industrial scale. This is
Even
really industrial
IMF.
scale.
IMF, they ask our government, say, how they take spend 3 trillion naira. They tell you recent development where they happen.
I know.
IMF,
You
they
see,
ask
only
our
they get
government.
ministry where no exist. They put them inside budget. If that is not industrial, I don't know what is industrial. But what are they teaching the young people that
And
it
person
be more if you work hard?
who they for that particular scam? Now person with the talk say na him be the chief of staff to the president. Now him name, now him that they call for that particular scam we happened.
And
Where
they
they
go
go to
collect tax.
agency
The one way now
for-
collect, and I don't share up, and they still want collect more.
Yes, their hunger of greed is insatiable.
It's unbelievable. It's beyond words.
All right, and we
Yeah.
have patterns to kill for change. Announcement economy, consultant class, revolving door of MDAs, and no consequence culture.
Yeah.
Now, so no,
And then
you
we'll
have
tell
in
you that
China,
the consultants, they know about economic principles
and
from the
lie.
book.
Now, so they lie for us. Say if they,
Until we start to face most of these people with true
now,
fire.
so they lie for
response,
people
I don't
say
see any
if-
change.
thank you, because they lie for people say if they come out petrol subsidy, economy go they okay. Now they don't come out petrol
lie.
subsidy. How many years now?
All the petrol
But now,
subsidy, they not
People
share, then
wey
they
dey
share.
thief the money for that petrol subsidy now, they are getting away scot free. That is, na him be the no consequence culture. What they talk for that place? So for China,
You
They-
know why
they
I like
executed-
this girl's report. She will not only tell you what the problem is, she will even give you solution. You know how these
Yes.
people will be like. They say,
Yes.
give us solution. What will be your
Yes,
solution?
yes.
She give them solution
Yes.
now. Publish or perish. Public dashboard for every 1 billion budget. Let there be a timeline. How the money is being used. Jail time, not panel. Sentence them to jail. Kill security vote secrecy. Let it not be a blank check. You see, she gave them, but no, you will still see some of these supporters. You will see them today, even as you're talking. They will still come out and still come to defend madness. But we're not going to tolerate all that nonsense. Anybody that comes here to talk with their anus, we are going to shut it down, because it's only stomach infrastructure that talk with their anus. Somebody wants to talk with their mouth, they go straight from their brain. But all these stomach infrastructure people, we shouldn't give them a stage at all. Continue there. Say the one when you want to say finish and before we go to the next one.
Yes, you don't talk and well because if bad people they get away with their corruption, now let me say we they encourage others to say a good made they corrupt. But if you are dealing with corrupt people, if you get rid of them, like the one way happened for China recently, maybe say a government official embezzle about some millions of dollars. They're telling them they go return them to who create them. Whoever create them, where they make them, they chop money, they go return them to that person. There's no forgiveness for stealing from the people. Not to kill you away, because you don't get any use for the society, and you are the impact of the money where you steal, it affect millions of lives. All of the monies that should indeed go for education, go for infrastructure, only you don't carry and put for your own pocket. So that is a crime against humanity, and they should not be forgivable under the law. Now why China they advance in every area? Because people they fear before you go steal money, you go think them twice. You know, go feed tip.
We have turned it into industry, and we want the country to grow. How is the country going? It's like fetching water with baskets. It's like fetching water with baskets. How your country could grow? So you gave them reflective change needed. You gave them solution, publish or perish. Where you have a dashboard, location, contractors, budget, timeline, everything. Jail them, no panel, 6 months minimum, no plea bargain for their trial. Kill security vote, classified and oversight by partisan committee. Citizens audit, legalize citizens to be able to audit all these crazy things they are doing. Legal power for community organization. Reward whistleblower as 5% recovered fund paid within 90 days. Protection, not promises. Then to the loyalists and to us, here's what she has to say to the loyalists. Don't defend scam. I don't think they will listen. No, the thing is in their blood. Don't defend
maybe
scam.
If they talk them every day, one day, some of them they go reconsider.
Because your person is in power. Stealing is wrong. Even when your brother does it. Demand receipt, vote with data, not try. Shame looters, not celebrate them. Nigeria needs Nigerian citizens tired of being scammed. So our entire governmental system. That's why I don't call it a government. I call it economic sabotage and treason. That's what we practice at the national level. Pure treason, treasonous activities is what we practice, and we'll use words cover them as if we're doing something important. We have 21. Do we have any? So we've covered quite a lot of articles. There's still one more I want to cover before we go, but I don't know if we have time for that. And we showed while you were gone, we showed some Nigerian events, social events, cultural events, and all that. But just one last article. But me, I'm getting tired. I don't know. So on the Twitter page, do you have people who want to talk, or nobody for now?
No, nobody for now. But people came in and came out and came in and came out. So that was what happened. Nobody asked for mic and nobody asked questions.
Yeah, usually you put up that discussion page thing when you're ready to talk, so that you go to them, so that they're not just kept waiting, watching.
But they hear everything where would they talk?
Yeah, yes.
They hear everything.
Yeah, that's good. So, do we do the next article, or we'll push that for tomorrow?
Yeah, okay. That tomorrow, self, it go day okay. Well, if we postpone that article to tomorrow, so that we go take use build up our conversation before we have our guest.
Okay, yeah.
That one go good well.
So much stuff to do. How many hours did we put in? Almost 2.5 hours.
No,
That's or
almost
2 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours. Oh, that's good. That's good. So any addition from you? Me, I don't tire small. I don't
No,
tell you. They did all the
our
work
people,
today.
our
Eh?
people have to, begin to pay attention to stations like Movement Radio. We be
Yes, yes,
say
yes.
they are very,
We
very
have
much
to let
committed
them know
to.
when we are on.
Yes,
So a lot of people send me private text
we go,
asking me how do they get on, but I didn't have enough time to get back to their message until we started. But
they
we'll do
improve
that for tomorrow.
our feedback mechanism so that people it go dey easy for them to
For
enter
them, yes.
any of our platform during our broadcast.
Program. Yeah.
So the
For
more we
that
continue to
discussion
do
part,
our
I would
program, the
say
more it
it's
gets
only we
easier.
should just start that one only when we're ready for discussion.
Okay,
Or
okay,
we have
okay,
a
okay,
discussion after every article.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
okay.
thinking, but I don't know. I'm tired for today, though. I
But
think we
people
covered a
would
lot.
like me to hear the whole gist, and then when we are ready
Yes.
we will just throw the mic open for them to pick up the mic, and that one also
Yeah.
will be a matter of open for the best that they will be willing to speak.
Yeah. So we'll still have those discussion questions, and for those who wants to join to hear good Nigerian music that we can play on YouTube, we will usually start like 30 minutes or an hour
On
before
TikTok.
to play those music, and after, if we're not too tired, we'll play the music too after, so they can hear Nigerian music. But that won't be on YouTube because YouTube has specific regulation on the type of music you can play. And for the regular Niger music, we would have to do that after the show or and before the show. After, kind of, because if we get too tired, we might not be able. We want to thank all the 22 people that joined us today and those that will go back and watch the show. Our show is very informative, educative. We are changing narrative. We are changing mind. We are revolutionizing mind. We want to change the status quo. We cannot continue like this. And no savior is coming to save us. We have to do this ourselves. We have to do that by talking, having vital, important conversation, not the dog eats dog conversation that people have on social media. That is all I have to say. Any addition from you before we start rounding up?
And there's no addition apart from say maybe our people get serious with their government, make them no play with
Oh
them, because
yes.
this government
No,
too,
no, it's no,
they no
it's
play.
something that's been built over 60, 65 years. It's not easy to change their perspective. You have to start uncoupling them gradually, little by little, like this little stuff we're doing. That's how you start to unbuckle them. You understand? It's not easy. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job. You know.
So.
But we just have to keep doing our own part, our own role.
Yes. Yes.
Just educate, find interesting things. The articles we bring are very informative, educative, and things that will stimulate their brain and make them think. These are the things we have to keep pushing forward for. Yeah. So we're not gonna give up. We're gonna just keep trying. Yeah.
Yes.
So you do the closing remark by thanking those who have joined us. Because me, I don't talk tired.
I really thank on our will now join us for this our broadcast today. I thank you so much because it's not easy to sit through almost 3 hours of very undiluted truth, because we live in a era where we say truth, they always pain people for here. People no one listen to the truth. They would rather go and listen to where they are entertained, where people they shake yash, where people they change bomb. But you sat down through it all the way. We salute on our where, and we hope say you go join us tomorrow for another Ogbonge edition of the Movement Radio live broadcast. Thank you so very much. We will never give up, and anybody will keep quiet.
Announce to them that we will be having the terrorist survival on our show. And,
yes, we will.
So and
We'll be having
also
the terrorist survivor. Make it tell us waiting in high sea for
yes,
the domot
and
of the
also
kidnappers.
members of the Nigerian reset movement.
Mm, mm,
They too
mm,
will come. We don't. We let the people know when we schedule that, and those are
mm.
our upcoming events. So far,
That
so
is good.
good.
That is good.
Yeah, I've seen about 9 comments. I didn't even read the comment. Have you been following the comment?
Let me try. Let me make I see. Maybe
I saw nine
okay.
comments there. We didn't
This
even
comment
have
now
time to
for
check. Abdul
now for
Salam and
YouTube.
Adesanya.
Yes, Adesanya Adeboye. Very interesting
Yeah,
speech.
those
A
are the ones I
country
told you about.
that has
Remember
a
the things I
gate
told
but
you?
no fence, meaning that no security, no one is safe. Most explicitly, okay, most especially
Yes.
the country that has no gate, no fence. Obviously, there is no rule of law. Hmm. That is interesting.
That's
Another one
interesting.
we Adesanya talk. They say everyone comes in and goes out. Okay, thank you so much. Another one we in talk be a country that has a gate. Okay, I think we have read that before. Another
Before,
one
yeah.
way a talk be leading to rampant cross-border livestock theft, smuggling, and undocumented migration. Yes, talking about our border,
And we have
and we
people
have
also on
Abdullah.
TikTok.
That is good.
Yeah, we have people on TikTok. I don't know if they have comment, but yeah, but those guys are the ones I told you about. Remember what I told you about our
Yes,
people?
yes, yes,
Yeah, those are the
yes.
ones. Yeah. Let me see. It looks like somebody wants to say something here on TikTok. I'm not too sure. I can't see the camera. Hi, hello. Juicy, thanks for joining us. How are you doing? I could barely hear. I have to use a bigger device for this TikTok. Hi, Juicy. How are you doing? Have you been watching our show? Yeah. I don't think she can hear me. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Just do the remarks and let's end it. Can you end it from your end?
Yes, I should end the live stream.
Yeah, when you're ready. Once you're finished with the thanking the people and the
Okay, okay.
remarks, and
So
then
I thank everybody for joining us today. Tomorrow will be a fresh edition that
yeah, we'll
we
have
are
another
going
edition
to have
tomorrow. We'll have the
very
music
interesting
after the show.
conversation. And there's a music after the show. Thank you so very much. We look forward to having you tomorrow on our live broadcast. It's another time that we want to learn and gain insight. And of course, based on our own motto, changing the narrative, we are committed towards that. Thank you so very much. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.
I got about 4 people on TikTok